Hi, I'm Dave Pitcher, and this is the Poison Ivy Octahedron. First, let me give you a little bit of history about this puzzle. I was inspired to make this when I was given one of Eitan Scher's beautiful ivy cubes for Christmas. And it's a very simple puzzle, but it's fun to play with, and it can teach new puzzlers a great deal about solving puzzles, which was great at my house for when some kids were over and wanted to play with puzzles, and I gave them this so they could really think about solving it and how to work a puzzle. So I wanted to see if this theme could be continued in a series of puzzles. My first attempt at that was with what I called the Poison Ivy Prism. Now this is not getting a presentation on its own because it's a failure. I won't even call it a puzzle, really, kinetic sculpture perhaps, can really only scramble about that far. And then everything is locked out. Internally there is a lot of bandaging, so no further turns can be made. When I first started making this, I actually thought that these pieces would be able to exchange with each other, and so you would be able to scramble it somewhat, and that perhaps these pieces would also be able to exchange at least on their own face, but neither of those things is actually possible, as internal bandaging stops it up. So my next step was to take this a little bit further and go to the truncated octahedron shape that you see here. Now, this puzzle has 12 axes, one at every other, I should say, of these corners of the puzzle. And these axes can be used in two different ways. First, they can be turned so that two of the leaves of the poison ivy faces, the hexagonal faces, line up, and then turns can be continued around the puzzle like that. You'll note that these pieces never actually exchange places and don't move, which is why I colored the square faces, the smaller square faces, black. The other way that it can be turned is like this, and that causes the small leaf pieces to stick up from the surface of the puzzle, as you can see here. But then they can be moved around like so. So those are the two different types of moves that can be used, and given those two types of moves, the puzzle can of course be scrambled, and hopefully it'll be a bit of a challenge to solve, but perhaps not too much of one. So that's the Poison Ivy Octahedron. Thanks for watching.